All right, today we're going to tear down a belief that's practically carved in stone in personal finance, that buying a home is always the smartest move. We're going to flip that idea on its head and show you how you can actually profit from a property that you don't even own.
So, let's just jump right in with a simple question. Is paying a $2,400 mortgage really smarter than paying the exact same amount, $2,400, in rent? Now, on the surface, you'd probably say, of course it is, you're building equity. But what if I told you that in many cases, paying that mortgage is actually the less savvy financial move? I know, it sounds completely backward, but stick with me here.
Okay, first things first, we've got to dismantle what we call the great renting myth. And to do that, we need to get real about the true cost of owning a home. It's way more than just that monthly mortgage payment.
And here's the fundamental difference, right? When you rent, that $2,400 bill is pretty much your final price. That's your ceiling. The landlord handles everything else. But when you own a home, that $2,400 mortgage is just the starting point. It's the price of admission, not the cost of the whole ride.
And believe me, those extra costs, they add up fast. Let's just run some numbers. On top of your base mortgage, you're tacking on, let's say, $600 for insurance, maybe another $100 for HOA fees. You got to have a maintenance fund, right? Because when the water heater breaks, that's on you. So add $200 for that. And oh yeah, don't forget property taxes, another $300. All of a sudden, your affordable $2,400 payment has ballooned over $3,600 every single month.
And you know, it's not just about the money. On top of all those costs, homeownership means you're locked into a 30-year debt. You've got way less flexibility to just pick up and move. You're on the hook for every surprise repair. And yeah, you still have to mow the lawn. Renting avoids all of that. So the question is, how do you turn that into a profitable venture?
This is where it gets really interesting, because this isn't just about saving money by renting. This is about making money. So let me introduce you to a concept called rental arbitrage.
So what in the world is rental arbitrage? Well, the idea is actually pretty simple. You sign a normal, long-term lease for a house or an apartment. Then, with the landlord's permission, you turn around and list that same property on short-term rental sites. Like Airbnb. The whole game is to make more money from your short-term guests than what you're paying the landlord each month. And the best part? You do it all without a single penny of mortgage debt.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Let's look at a real-world scenario. This property here, it pulls in about $14,000 a month from short-term guests. Now, out of that income, $6,400 goes straight to the landlord to cover your rent. Another chunk pays for cleaning, utilities, all that stuff. And that piece that's left over, that's your pure profit. And there it is, $4,000 in monthly profit from just one property. A property that you control like a business asset, but without the gigantic down payment, the 30 years of debt, and all the liabilities of actually owning it.
Okay, so you see the potential. You're probably thinking, all right, I'm intrigued, but how do I actually do this? Well, let's walk through a simple 4-step playbook to get you started.
It all begins with research. Step 1, you use a data tool, like Arbitrage, to pinpoint the profitable zones where short-term rentals are killing it. Step 2, you analyze the top listings in that area. What are they earning? What amenities are they offering? Step 3, now you start hunting for long-term rentals in that same zone. But here's the key. You're looking for places where the monthly rent is less than half of what you think you can make. And finally, step 4, you start reaching out to landlords and booking viewings.
And here it is, the big one, the question that stops almost everyone in their tracks. Why on earth would a landlord ever agree to let me do this with their property? It seems like a huge, impossible hurdle, right? But the answer is actually surprisingly simple.
You don't walk in and say, hey, can I Airbnb your place? No. You make them a business proposition. You pitch them on the benefits to them. You tell them you will guarantee that their rent is paid on time every single time, and you promise them that their property will be professionally managed and kept in absolutely pristine condition, probably even better than with a normal tenant.
And this pitch works because you're not acting like a typical tenant. You're operating as a professional hospitality business. That means you sign a corporate lease with a sublet clause built right in. You furnish the place to a really high standard. You hire a pro photographer to make it look amazing online. You set up a reliable cleaning service.
You install smart locks and noise sensors for security, which gives the landlord peace of mind, and you use management software to keep everything running smoothly. See, this isn't some casual side gig. It's a legitimate professional operation.
And what's the timeline like? Well, the research and setup might take a few weeks, sure, but once you launch a well-prepped property in a hot market, those first bookings can start rolling in within days. The cash can start flowing incredibly fast.
So what this all comes down to is a complete shift in how you think about real estate. This strategy lets you go from thinking like a tenant who just sees an expense to thinking like an investor who sees an opportunity to create a cash-flowing asset. It really boils down to this one single powerful idea. You're taking what is, for pretty much everyone, their single biggest monthly expense, their rent, and you are flipping it into an engine that generates monthly profit.
Which brings us right back to that first question, but now we're looking at it through a completely new lens. Maybe renting isn't just for people who can't afford to buy a house. With a smart strategy like this, maybe, just maybe, renting is actually the smarter business move. What do you think?